Anti-Semitism bill got passed, but we don't know if it'll make it through the Senate. Donald Trump in 2019 signed an executive order instructing federal agencies to operate under the IHRA definition of anti-Semitism, which includes, as an example, statements like Jews killed Jesus. I'm not saying they did, but it's in the Bible they did.
I'm not saying they did, but it's in the Bible. I'll find the Serf Cedar link. Here it is. Here, okay, I got it. I got it. We got ourselves a thread. All right. Okay, so this was the announcement, and then take note, Timcast, win your fans back by having and hosting the important debate. Thumbs up. Actually, I was asked to do a debate and turned it down. Fuck y'all. But then Patrick Bet David comes in, turned it down. Our team and your team spoke. Your booker said you wanted us to fly you down in a private jet, which was strange, especially after I attended your paid event in Miami for free. Let us know if you want to see the email exchange. I'll wait. That's pretty wild. Tim wouldn't even reimburse my flight. He's like, well, I'll buy you a plane ticket, but we need all your information. I don't want to give you all my... I don't want to do that. I don't want to give you my fast flight number. No, you deal with way too many fascies. I don't think like you're gonna necessarily leak it. I don't think that they would have done that. You know, I think that'd be pretty wild. But still, I just don't even want to roll the dice on that one. So I was like, no. How about I buy the plane ticket and you can just reimburse me the cost of the ticket? I'll fly coach. I'll fly economy. I just like what? No, and they refused. And I was like, okay, but you demand. What is this? A private jet? That's wild. Yeah, I'll come, but I'm gonna need a private jet. You need to fly me out and then put me up in somewhere nice and comfy. I will need a per diem. Yeah, I have expenses, you know. You gotta go shopping, buy some beanies. There's a good beanie store in town, I'm sure. And then there's a meal or two, you know. Can't live on Soylent alone. But anyways, Tim Pool clapped back. Yes, I turned it down because it's impossible for me to fly there. I didn't say I didn't want to do it. I want to call him out. I just can't afford to fly to Miami on a Friday night or make it in time if I fly Saturday morning. That's no beef. No beef. Come on, don't turn this into a thing. Not in front of everyone. The eyes of the world are watching. Whoopsie.
Say whoopsie.
Now, if you're wondering why Majority Report and Sam are piping up in here, there was a time when Tim Pool was doing this kind of song and dance, and you've seen Dennis Prager do it. A lot of people on the right like to do it. They like the posture that no one on the left wants to debate. All right, you heard Dave Rubin. He said that there's going to be like some high-level ideas in the marketplace, you know, high-level ideas, and then the great ideas, they rise to the top, the cream. I want the cream. And you're like, okay, cool. That seems to be quite a few people want to speak to all of them. Sam Seder especially. Sam Seder wanted to debate Dennis Prager. Sam Seder wants to debate Tim Pool again. And Tim Pool hath refused unless you come down to the compound. He only will entertain the left if you fly. Go down to the compound, and then he won't reimburse your flights, by the way. And then, you know, go have yourself a little debate inside the compound, you know, where he can see you face to face. You know, beanie at beanie, that kind of shit. Except right here, it's odd because, again, the idea that it's impossible to fly, but I can do it remote. Well, then, Sam Seder should be going down, right? It's about time. Sam awaits.
Patrick Bet David and was
no, I don't need to hear you read.
4 years ago. The reckoning is coming for Cuomo. Hiring him was a huge mistake. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why PBD hired him. He has some.
PBD hired Chris Cuomo? Really? Man, that is one hell of a fall from grace. We were just talking about Chris Cuomo the other day, and I was like, it's wild that this guy was one of the like heroic faces of COVID. I don't know if everyone remembers, but when you were all locked at home and all of us were scared and all that kind of stuff, there was one man who caught it and was brave enough to film the entire experiences. He went into the basement and his whole family was above him, but he lived in his cozy ass nice basement where he was like,
Day 3. Yes, I never thought I would see the sunlight again, but still I struggle for you, the people, to learn.
And then it turned out is it true he didn't have COVID during that? Like, it turned out he was actually over COVID by that point or something, and then he was just filming the whole thing to do. I don't know. Strange. Either way, for him to go from that to the fucking PBD podcast, I think that one's worse than Tucker. That one's more embarrassing than Tucker. Between Tucker, Don Lemon, and Chris Cuomo, all the people who have fallen from grace and are trying to make like internet shows become a thing.
Level of name recognition, but you know, he's largely hated in, you know, in my learned from
in your communities. Yeah, I imagine the right, most of the right to the far right are not too stoked on the lib who used to shit on Donald Trump all day, you know.
down. I'm not sure which side he would have been on, like on the Dave Smith side, maybe. I'm not totally sure. Like I can't really say what side he would have been on, but or maybe.
Oh, has he confused you with his 12D chess? Yes, you never know what Tim Pool actually believes. Does he actually believe in this or this? He's a milquetoast fence sitter. It's hard to tell. Does he have any beliefs at all? He'll sometimes tweet something out, and then shortly thereafter, he'll tweet something completely different. So you never really truly know, what does he mean? Or what is he talking about?
They wanted to host it, but I don't know. It was a weird
I'll show
thing
you all an
to
example
say.
of that.
But then Patrick Bet-David comes like off the top rope saying,
Okay, so Tim Pool tweets out, women being asked to get pregnant, then give the baby to gay men for money. And again, cowardly shit, right? Like, he is honestly always pumping out so much queer phobia, so much fucking misogynistic incel shit, but always just does it in such a way that he can back away from it afterwards, being like, I was just saying things, lol, and says, didn't say anything negative or positive about it, just a thing I noticed happening. I'm not saying this is a bad thing, even though I know a lot of people in my audience are, you know, getting real excited about me saying it. But this apparently was too milquetoast for the groypers in his audience, who then said, translation, I'm a coward, says Goya Bean Groper. Tim, you don't have to respond to Goya Bean Groper. You can just block Goya Bean Groper. You don't have to have this interaction at all. I'm allowed to notice things, says brave Tim. Edgelord of the Edgelords. Yes, the edgiest. The original cartoon, Cyanide and Happiness, is unfortunately for people like Elon Musk, Tim Pool, and the Quartering, super woke. Super woke. And actually made a tweet about how fucking horrifying it is to see Elon Musk reappropriating his own things to criticize Reuters. And I know Tim's like, ha 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 ha. But you know what's really funny is that Elon Musk tweeted this out because Reuters, of all places, they've released a lot of the really bad, damaging Elon Musk stories and broke a lot of them. And so I'm sure at this point it's kind of like, oh yeah, well, take this. How do you like them memes that I stole from my own subreddit?
Tim's quote unquote booker
You should DMCA Elon for altering his work without permission. Hey, true.
has been blamed for something. I think the booker was essentially blamed over the debate with Jake Shields or whatever. I don't know if anybody knows who Jake Jake Shields is. I know he was, I guess, an MMA guy, which I don't want to, I'm not going to try to.
Jake Shields has said so many horrifying things online. It's not even like Jake Shields. You can say Jake Shields is beyond the alt-right. The dude is fucking, he's full blown tweeting out fascist shit constantly.
Take that away from him or whatever. But like, I don't know what he would debate. I know that he seems to really not like Jewish people. And
yeah, no, he's an anti-Semitic far-right asshole. It's weird, hey, how y'all are always palling around with all these Nazis, bringing them onto your shows and shit, and then all of a sudden it's like, it's weird though, they really hate the Jews, and they're always talking about them and how they control the world, which I looked it up, isn't true. It's just like some weird anti-Semitic trope that they control like everything, but it turns out it's not true. Yeah, you know who does? Billionaires. It's not as if it just falls along one kind of ethnic or religious line. There is a lot of Christian billionaires, a lot of white billionaires as well, but still, it's billionaires. Billionaires have all the capital under capitalism. It's in the name. That's why it's. Oh, I get it now. Cool.
he spends a lot of time tweeting about that, but I don't think I would tune in to watch him debate anything. Obviously, I'm generally on Tim's side because, he's really just been kind of an independent guy. But This is weird. This is like a weird look. Maybe what do you?
Weird. Yeah. Yeah. I was trying to see if there's any. Has Sam Seder responded to any of this? Because I know he's made a couple tweets and he's having some fun with it. And, you love to see it. Hold on. During COVID, he didn't want to risk that, but said, I will, gladly go on your show today. I said the exact same thing, by the way, when Tim was like, he quote tweeted me and was like, debate me, serfs, come down, I'll fly you out or whatever. Immediately, I was like, I was just. Oh, come on right now. And he didn't want to do that. You gotta fly and go down to the beanie land. It's one of the reasons why Hassan and Tim haven't debated, was because Tim is only going to do it if Hassan flies out there. And like, if y'all are willing to fly me, because I really want to debate the what is it? I gotta remember it via this acronym: Penis Balls Dick Podcast, PBD. That's the only way I'm ever gonna remember it. So the Penis Balls Dick Podcast. I really want to debate those motherfuckers because they've been spreading so much fucked up misinformation. And if they're willing to fly me out, awesome. I don't need first class. I will gladly take it though. I've never flown first class. That'll be fun. I'll take first class, but no, I would just take a regular flight and hotel. I mean, any bonuses that you were saving for Tim Pool. I'll debate Chris Cuomo. I don't know even what the topic's about, but I'll do it just for funsies. I think it'd be neat to sit across from Chris Cuomo and be like, this is surreal, man. You were the face of COVID. Now look at you. Across from fucking me. I'm a dumpster fire. I'm trash. Hot flaming trash. And we're on the same podium now. That's hilarious. Bad for you. Great for me.
About this a little bit the other day. As much as there's a lot of people on the left and the right trying to deny it, the anti-Semitism bill absolutely would make it a discriminatory offense under the 1964 Civil Rights Act to claim that Jews killed Jesus. Are you familiar with this?
Oh, yes.
So there's a lot of people coming out and saying, no, you're exaggerating. It's not illegal. That's not what they're saying. No. Hold on.
I love the fact that that Tim Pool is going to make the argument that the rest of the bill is fine, except for the fact that you won't be able to say that Jesus killed Jews killed Jesus. Now, I suspect that
first off, you are in racist corners of the internet when you start seeing that shit. Okay, the Romans killed Jesus. That's who killed Jesus. It was the Romans. Yes, the Romans killed Jesus.
You probably could say that, but what they really are is the issue here is that you're equating anti-Zionism with anti-Semitism. And, even like this anti-Zionism, I had this conversation with the other day, like there's anti-Zionism is, it seems to me, a creation of Zionists, because there's another word for anti-Zionism. And that is like, I believe in democracy. Or I just believe that you shouldn't
Self-determination.
Also, the idea that might makes right. Right? Like, if you believe that, then yes, you're going to be totally in favor of colonial projects and be like, yeah, I mean, we're stronger. We beat them. Well, I know they're not all gone yet, but we beat them and a lot of them died. So we get this now. This is mine now. I get this now. And then people who, like, when you get down to it, like, fundamentally, they're going to tell you that, no, I obviously don't believe might makes right. I don't think you should just be able to walk into your, like, neighbor's house and kick them out if you're physically stronger than them. That would be a little wild, I mean, if we were to apply that, broadly speaking, just to society writ large, not great. But yeah, so I don't believe that. But it's like, but then why are you okay with colonial projects? Why aren't you for land back, for example, in Canada? And it's like, land back is a really simple one. Land back is based on treaties that were already agreed to by the colonizers. The colonizers were like, here's our terms and conditions. Yes, and we won't try to, destroy the rest of your land. And then it's like, oh, okay, fine. We'll agree to these. You have destroyed and honestly killed a lot of our people by bringing lots of disease. Mostly that you just brought a whole bunch of fucking disease, and in between that and then the attempts at enslavement and all the other shit, so sure, we'll agree to some terms. We get to have this, you get to have that. There you go. And then it's like, yeah, so you know how we signed those treaties? We're not going to honor them anymore. And yeah, you now fall under the category as a form of property in Canada. Yeah, it's not full property, but kind of classified like property under the Indian Act. So that's going to be the next step. Yeah. So. Ew, we're not very honest.
discrimination.
That's the wild thing too, by the way, because Matt Walsh right now is tweeting out a lot of like, "We fucking won the war, get over it. The Indians died," and saying all this racist shit like that. It's like, well, first off, indigenous people are not gone; they're still around. You know, they're still alive, still living. And in addition to that, I know he's romanticized this version of like Western colonization that he's seen in the movies, where it's all kind of like sexy, right? It's like, oh yeah, like you know, these white dudes, cowboys, and they're on horses, and they're all like rugged and masculine, and like they got guns and they're shooting all these like savage Indians who are coming up with like, you know, and they're like making powwows and doing songs and screaming, and they're taming the West. It's like, it's way more about just like the ravages of disease, forced starvation of a lot of populations, trafficking of children, the sexual slavery of children done by white colonizers once again, lots and lots of treaties signed and then broken, and then signed and then broken, and then signed and then broken. Let's say ethnic cleansing, lots of ethnic cleansing, Trail of Tears, look it up. So that's in there. Like it's just like, it's long, it's gross, and it's disgusting, and it involves both cultural and you know, literal genocide. So that's more like, if you look at it, and honestly were to look at it, that's what it looks like. It's not as sexy and fun as you know, the TV shows make it look, where it's just like, that's how we tame the West. Yes, we tamed the West. We did it. Tamed them like an animal.
That you shouldn't be oppressing people and preventing them from having any autonomy. But as soon as it becomes anti-Zionism, it's like, it becomes like, I hold a special set of beliefs that are unique to Zionists. No, I just have a set of beliefs that I believe that Zionism runs.
And you land on Trail of Tears, why I literally always hated Andrew Jackson. Good, you should. Everyone should hate Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson is a fucking horrifying individual. And yes,
a foul of. And the belief is not terribly controversial. It is one where it's pro-democratic.
Right.
Period. I don't know if Tim Pool has ever complained about the 26 states is it in the country where you can't get a government contract if you are in any way participate in like BDS or any type of boycott of Israel.
Yep.
You can't, you're a speech therapist. You're working with kids who have trouble speaking or have special needs. You can't have that job if you've participated in any type of boycott of Israel.
That literally happened in Texas.
I imagine that Tim Pool has not weighed in on that, but
he's not even making that argument, though. I mean, well, I guess he is making an argument about this specific free speech. And when he says you can't even say that the Jews killed Jesus, that's a wink and a nod to a few people in the audience that want to say more things about Jews outside of the Jesus killing part. It's just like, you can't say the bad things about Jews, which is what we want to say.
He also knows it's unpopular and that he needs to take a position against it that isn't in line with the protesters.
That's my point there, is that like, he knows it's they're against it on the right, so he's going to take a position about it being sort of he's got to find the position.
Surprise, it's attack on us again, the reactionaries.
And this is what Marjorie Taylor Greene said. We played that clip last week. So he's just saying Marjorie, the liberal fence sitter Tim Pool is aligned with MTG.
No, you're exaggerating. It's not illegal. That's not what they're saying. No, hold on. The anti-Semitism bill got passed, but we don't know if it'll make it to the Senate. Donald Trump in 2019 signed an executive order instructing federal agencies to operate under the IHRA definition of anti-Semitism, which includes, as an example, statements like Jews killed Jesus. I'm not saying they did, but it's in the Bible they did.
I'm not saying they did, but it's in the Bible.
It's in the Bible numerous times, and it's not, and then people try to argue.
I'm sorry, America, like y'all are aware, I'm sure at this point, right? The Bible is not historical fiction. It's a series of stories that not necessarily have any validity in terms of actually occurring. Like there wasn't There wasn't literally an ark. There wasn't like a massive flood and like, you know, 2 of every animal. Just like the logistics alone. Do you know how many beetles there are on the planet Earth? How many kinds of beetles you would need in order to pull this off, to pull off the incest reality that you want to live in? And do you really want to live in the incest reality where every single creature on this face of the earth is all incest babies? Every single one of them, they're all incestuous. That's really fucked up. Not to mention, like, I think it's over 100,000. There's like over 100,000 different kinds of beetles. So you would have to have, just in beetles alone, I'm not talking about other animals, but just in beetles, you would have to have over 100,000 different kinds of beetles and hope that every one of those fucked and reproduced and didn't make some kind of like incestuous offspring that eventually didn't lead to the propagation of that specific kind of beetle. There's so much, like, again, they're not real.
No, it's in the Bible under the 1964 Civil Rights Act, which I believe is a civil violation. You get sued and you lose. So no one, you're not going to go to jail for it. Anyone's allowed to go on a street corner and say the most vile things, you know, like, I'm not even talking about the Bible. I'm saying, like, they can go out and be racist, whatever. You can't go to jail for that. But if you kick someone out of a store while holding
More than you think are biblical literalists, that's not good. Yeah. Because again, if it's like, this is supposed to be actual human history. I mean, that book was written at a time when we didn't understand what the germ theory of disease was. So again, and there's a lot of things in there that didn't turn out to be true. They're magical, and that they're fantastical, but they're not based in reality or capable of happening. Also, do you want to live in the like, God is super anxious, insecure, and genocidal? Because that's Yahweh. The God of the Bible he's pretty damn insecure, and you know, a lot of toxic mask going on there, and he's like, just straight up like, honor me, honor no other before me. And it's like, okay, but can we still have a couple other, you know, deities? No other. You know what, I cleanse, I wash all of you off the earth, everything. Hold up, I'm going to tell one person about it, and hopefully they can save all of you. But otherwise, yes, yeah. This is after all the other the plagues and all that other shit, dude. It's just like, I don't know. I'd rather not believe that God is quite so insecure and constantly just needing validation.
up a sign that says
No engraven images. Really? I don't know. The cow god's kind of cute. Can we keep the cow god? No, none. No, only me. Worship no other gods before me.
something overtly racist. They're going to sue you under Title VI, and they're going to win. Now, saying, putting up a Bible passage, like the one of Pontius saying, I will not have this man's blood on my hands. Imagine you had that in your restaurant, denied service to a guy for some arbitrary reason, like he wasn't wearing shoes. And then he says, you know what? Well, I was Jewish, and he had a thing on.
Let me just explain what arbitrary means. Arbitrary
Go on.
means something that has absolutely no basis, no reason for it. It's just sort of whimsical. When you deny service to someone for no shoes, you're actually following the health code, and that would be a perfect defense. Exactly. Like if they came in and said, like, "Oh, you have this sign here, and you denied me food." And my defense was like, well, he was not wearing shoes. They would go, oh, okay, dismissed, summarily dismissed.
But he has to come up with a fake kind of, I guess, basically pretext for it, because
like,
then otherwise he'd have to acknowledge that actually anti-discrimination happens to a lot of different people in places of business, and that's why we need these kinds of laws.
It's also weird, too. Like in this instance, I think what he's really wants is that you were holding the sign as you came in to get the food, and they denied service to you because of the sign. But go ahead.
He wasn't wearing shoes. And then he says, you know what? Well, I was Jewish, and he had a thing on the sign blaming Jews for killing Jesus. That's why they kicked him out. You will get sued. You will lose.
Yeah. I mean, in Texas, y'all know what Dairy Queen is?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Have you heard of the restaurant? There's a chain, actually. There's a couple of them that serves frozen treats, you know, delightful treats. They make you feel like royalty when you have them. I forget the name of it, but I'm not sure if you're familiar.
Every Dairy Queen in Texas where I live has a Bible on the counter. Do y'all have that?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. What?
And there's a highlighter.
Is that true? Anyone here from Texas in either of the chats? Does every single Dairy Queen have a Bible on it? And if so, weird. Do you constantly have to be thinking about that shit all the time? Can't you just enjoy a fucking, you know, dipped cone for a little while and you like just turn off? Like when I go to the fucking to get a fucking what is it, a blurry or flurry or whatever. I'm not sitting there thinking like, oh yeah, I wonder if I should brush up on Ezekiel. You know, see how that's doing. Need to read my numbers. Yeah, I'm in Texas and absolutely not. That's what I thought. I was like, literally a Bible in every single Dairy Queen just by the counter when you order. You gotta you place your hand on it first.
Howdy everybody. I just wanted to let you know that for the cost of a cup of coffee, you can unlock bonus uncensored episodes of Mind Explosions by going to patreon.com/theserfs. Our videos couldn't exist without your support, and all our content is released early to our Patreon subscribers, as well as a ton of extra content you can't get anywhere else. Please like, subscribe, and thumbs up this channel, and if you're feeling extra perky, share it anywhere you think people would like to see or learn from our videos. Thank you so much for watching, everybody. We first want to give a shout out to everyone who makes this show possible. This program is produced thanks to the generous support of our Patreon supporters: Anna Loves Riley, Arian McCarthy, Cheryl Alvarez, Comrade Junkie, Doug Caddy, Everything Important, Hagbar Celine, Jimmy Sombrero, Multimondi, Omni, Peanut Butter Blondie, Political Poppy, Preston Kroll, Quite 185, Richard Bomey, Riley and Anna, Roller Dragon, Ruby, Cernicus, Stellar Gwyn, Sebastian Demmel, Travis McClinton, and Words Greenwood, as well as every other person you see on the screen right now. This show would not be possible without them. And if you want to join these wonderful people who make this entire program possible, simply go to patreon.com/theserfs and you can unlock uncensored and bonus episodes and, you know, help us exist.